In today's episode of the Powerful Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Julie Huval, and she's hailing over from the folks over at Beck. And at Beck, they're in a very interesting, in an interesting market, right? Pre-con technology. It's basically an innovative software for the pre-construction market who have to run, large-scale projects. So today we want to really figure out what Beck is all about in depth, but also how Julie is thinking about growth for the company. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah. So maybe give us a quick overview in your own words. What is Beck all about?
So Beck Technology, we develop pre-construction technology. And for those that are not familiar with that means, really bubbling it down to estimating software for large commercial construction. So think about your hospitals, your colleges, your malls, your shopping centers. Our software helps builders really figure out how much is that project going to cost, and then they can actually work towards that cost as they're building the project.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, maybe if you could characterize the organizations a little bit that benefit the most from Beck. Is there a certain size of projects they need to have, a certain amount of project that makes sense, a certain amount of people working in those projects? What is a great fit?
I think for us, whenever we think about who's the ideal user for our software, it's going to be anyone that actually works in a complex construction project. Really, our software is made for, let's say, vertical construction. And so the difference of vertical and horizontal, I want you to think of like a road or a highway. Our software today is not great for that type of project, but anything that you build from the ground up, our software can be used on that. So, and really, we have customers that have one users all the way up to customers that have hundreds of users of our product. So, and it's anything in between. Really, what our product helps them do is be able to build a database of cost and then build from that database an estimate and different versions, because the actual pre-construction phase of a project is pretty detailed, and it's fast and furious. And a lot of construction companies, they're in that pre-con phase before they even get awarded a project. So construction companies can actually lose money in pre-construction phase if they're not careful. So our software is there to help them make sure that they're making the best decisions for a project and trying to win more jobs so that they can go and do more things.
Mm-hmm. Makes a whole lot of sense. Now, who would you say is actually the individual within those organizations that brings the technology on board, right? On average, like who has that foresight, who has that technology insight to bring the tool on?
Yeah, so it's going to be usually a chief estimator. Sometimes the title is just estimator. Sometimes it's director of pre-construction, VP of estimating. It's going to be the people that really understand the nuances of pre-construction. We do have some IT professionals that help implement it. And that's really making sure that the infrastructure of a construction company can handle our product and making sure that it touches the right things within that company. So yeah, it's a lot of people that live within a pre-con department team at a company. They're the ones that are reaching out to us, coordinating with us, and then also implementing the software.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So now, how do these folks learn about Beck? What would you say? What's their journey looking like?
So we see a lot of people coming to us through organic search. So we have a robust content strategy at Beck Technology. We're developing very cool stories. We're telling customer stories. We have great case studies. So I do see a lot of people coming to us because of something that they have viewed out there in the world. The other way is that it's actually word of mouth. Within the construction industry, it's a very small industry, even though they're doing trillions of dollars a year in building. But you have people that they work together, or their peers, or they used to work together. And so whenever they hear about, like, their buddy is using our software, and they go, well, wait, if you guys are having such great success with that and you love it, well, I want to look at it too. So like I would say first one is organic search and people coming in. The second one is our customers are just raving fans of our product and they're telling people about it. And then those people are coming to us as well.
Very good. Now, what role would you say does the website then play? You mentioned the customer stories already. You can find them on the website as well if you're listening into back-technology.com. Now, what role do you think the website plays in their journey, in your perspective?
Our website is a member of the company, really. So we actually switched from a WordPress website to a HubSpot website earlier this year. And I say earlier this year, I think we made the switch in end of August, beginning of September. And really, with us making the switch and also overhauling our website, we wanted to make sure that the prospect journey was very simple. So one, we can give people tons of opportunities to request a demo or to contact our company. We want to give them the best content in the most intuitive spot on the website. So really, our website is a workhorse because it is marketing, it is sales, it is support, it is services, and really as much as we can answer people's questions. So whenever they do get to talking to one of our technical team members, they're already educated and well equipped onto like what we do as a company, what our product does. And so then it helps speed up that process that they may, if they get into our sales pipeline, we want to help them speed up that process so that they can get into using the software faster. So our website is, it's working while we're sleeping.
Very good. Now, you actually mentioned you guys switched to the HubSpot environment for the website. Now, what would you, and it's actually indeed very true, the messaging and the whole feel of the website is that there is a very clear and concise message. Now, what I'm wondering is, what do you consider currently, next to what we just discussed, the strengths of the website versus where do you see room for further improvement?
Say that one more time.
Yeah. So basically, playing on the website that you just mentioned, where do you see sort of the current strength of the website versus where do you see room for further improvement?
Yeah. So the strengths of the website are, one, we have everywhere that you can request a demo. So it's up at the top of the page. It's in the footer. It's also in some of the blogs, and I think it's at like the most opportune time that someone could request a demo. We also have things like on our careers page. We may not have a request a demo on a careers page because people are looking for jobs. So like, I think we're very intentional about our call to actions on the website. So I think that's a really good strength for us. I think where we want to improve is possibly adding in some automation. So, if we know that people have been to the website before, how do we show them something new that they haven't seen yet? How do we make sure that we, if they have filled out a form, maybe it's some gated content, how do we make sure that they're seeing stuff that is relevant to them and what they're looking for? So I think there's additional things, especially now that we're in the HubSpot environment, of how do we build on top of the success that we're currently seeing and just making that impact with our prospects and leads and even customers of how do we really give them a great experience on our website?
Sounds very interesting. So very good. So then we talked about what you guys are doing. We talked about the switch of the website. We talked about the growth channels. I would love to talk about yourself and your journey as a marketer, right? The first question I have is, there's so much content for marketers out there. You could read all day long, be in Slack groups, be in webinars, it's endless. Where do you personally feel you getting high quality information to educate yourself?
So I belong to a Facebook group called the Daily Carnage. They also send out a daily newsletter, but the Facebook group has actually brought up some really great ideas. People ask really great questions, and it's a community of people that I don't think I've met anyone in person, but great information that we share on that Facebook group. I also get the Wall Street Journal CMO Today daily newsletter, and that is a fun read of really hot topics that are happening day in and day out. And then I'm also part of the Society for Marketing Professional Services. SMPS is an association really within the United States and Canada for people that are marketing professional services in architecture, engineering, construction, and just being able to collaborate with people that work in the same space. We deal with the same type of project owners and real estate development and subs and teaming abilities and stuff like that. So I would say probably those three areas are where I get a lot of value from. And I think each one of those answer a different thing that I need. So like the Facebook group may be tactical type things that, hey, we're having issues with a Google ad, or Is anyone running a successful Instagram ad? Or like, hey, we want to write blog content. What are some of the best ideas out there? Where the
Very
CMO
cool.
today gives me snapshots of like what's happening in the world within marketing. And then the SMPS is a network that I've been a part of for several years that I have several people I can go to and ask questions, and then also be a resource for other people. So I think they all answer different things for different parts of my career.
Very good. Now, I got some rapid fire questions to wrap it up for today. Are you ready for those?
I'm ready.
What is the last book you read or the last podcast you listened to?
So the last podcast I listened to was High Growth Founders with Casey Jones. She talked about just being self-aware, and that can actually make you better in business. So it was a great podcast episode.
What's the one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
There's a lot of things that we're focused on. I think the one thing that we're really focused on is community, and how are we building a community for pre-con people so that they have a place to go to. Like, I have a community of marketing people. We want to build a community for pre-construction professionals. And I think Beck Tech is situated that we can help people do that.
Now, if you would have a magic wand, right, and you could change one thing for your role as a marketer, what's the one thing that you would fix?
Oh, just one thing. I have so many things, and I really wish I could do a lot more than just one. I would probably say the one thing, I wish I had a crystal ball. I want to know what's going to happen in the next 3 years, and then be able to create a strategic plan around that. I mean, construction is a great industry. It's an exciting industry to be in. There's some unknowns that go into that industry. And as a marketer, being able to mitigate what happens, and how we, assign resources and money and budget and time towards some of those initiatives. Like, yeah, we have to pivot often because things change. And so, I think any marketer would be like, man, I just want some stability. But in marketing is a career that it is constantly changing and exciting, but man, just having a little bit of foresight, that would be awesome. So that's what I would use my magic wand for. Very
good. And for the very last question, I would like to do a bit of time travel. Now we're going backwards. So we're going back in time, not 3 years to the future. I would like to go back to the days of the University of Texas at Arlington, right? So you were finishing up MBA back then. Now you're heading into the world of business and marketing after that formal education. What's the one advice you would give yourself for that journey?
Patience. Patience is one of the fruits of the spirit. I don't have patience. I don't have time for patience. But if I could go back and because I think patience gives you that insight of being self-aware and also aware of what's happening around you. I am very much, I think even my parents would tell you I'm the most impatient person in the world. My husband would definitely say that. But I think going back and going, Julie, just be patient, learn as you go, absorb things as you go. Also too, I think one of the things that, and this is advice I give to people that I mentor, of when you're starting out early in your career, ask as many questions as you can, because you can ask what you think are quote unquote dumb questions early in your career. And it's the best time to just absorb and be a sponge and just learn as much as you can. And again, it goes to patience, which I am horrible at, but I'm trying to get better at it. And also continuously being a sponge for things that are happening around me.
Very cool. Julie, I really appreciate you took the time with us today to be guest on Pathmark Presents. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed today about Beck Tech, what's the one thing people should remember?
Well, for Beck Technology is an amazing company. We do really cool stuff. We are in a hyper growth period of the business. I would say one of the things that we're focused on in marketing at Beck Tech, we don't want to be different. We want to be unique. And so that's really understanding our why about what we do as a business, and then also constantly going towards that. So yes, we do pre-construction technology. It is fun. It is exciting. And also we're going to do some really cool and unique things in our space over the next several years. So if people want to be on the sidelines eating some popcorn and watching it, continue to watch what Beck Tech's doing.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathfinder Presents.